Hi Rosemary, it's Erica. I wanted to post a video response to your encouraging words video. I was going to leave a text comment, but there weren't enough spaces, and I don't know, I guess I'm just getting video happy recently, but I was listening and your message really struck a chord with me because it's so true. You know, there is always somebody out there that has it worse than we do. And I was taught that growing up, just like you were. I think you said your mother told you that. My mother and my grandparents would preach that to us. If we would complain, they would say, hey, there's somebody out there that has it worse than you do. And they like to use the example of homeless people, which I always found odd because homeless people don't exist. You know, not in the sense that they were trying to make it seem like they existed in this area. There are a few here, but not sleeping on the park benches like my mom tried to make it seem. Anyway, it wasn't until I was an adult and a mother that God taught me that lesson, and it has stayed with me. And I thought that I would share that story because I'm going to be a teacher and examples are my thing, and I know you'll appreciate that as a fellow teacher. I was an adult, and my son was 18 months old. I was newly a single mother. I had left my husband in November, and my son, the problem was diagnosed in May, and he had surgery in June of the following year, and that was back in 2004. He was 18 months old, and the surgery was supposed to last 4 hours. We had to drive to Riley's Children's Hospital in Indianapolis, which is a wonderful hospital, by the way. I'll get my plug in for them. We went into the waiting room, and they give us a little pager, told us to have a seat, make ourselves comfortable, told us where the McDonald's was and what the rules were. And we sit down, and it's just me and my mom, because my mom was the only one that came with me. His dad didn't come. And we're sitting there, and I am just beside myself, and I've always been, I don't pray in the sense that you fold your hands and formally pray, but I do have conversations with God in my head, and I'm ranting at him, and I'm like, why are you doing this to my 18-month-old? Why are you doing this to him? Why are you doing this to me? You know, haven't we all been through enough in the last year? And I'm just raging at God in my head, just really upset. And there is a family sitting diagonally to the right of us, and the man comes over and sits down beside me, and he's asking me, you know, what are you here for? And I'm just unloading on this man, and he is going out of his way to comfort me. You know, and this was the end of my world as I knew it. You know, I'm hitting rock bottom. My marriage is over, and my son's in the hospital, and just, you know, horrible. Through the course of conversation, it comes out that this man's daughter is also having surgery. And he's talking about it like it's, you know, a routine thing that they just deal with. It's her third kidney transplant, which immediately put me in check. Sorry, I'm getting a little dehydrated. over the course of things, he tells me that the surgeon is supposed to come out and tell them whether or not the kidney is going to take. Because if this one doesn't take, being the third one she's had, she doesn't get any more. And that's it. And of course the man went back to be with his family. And I was left there to sit and think about it. And my mother, who at the time, as far as I knew, didn't believe in God, leaned over and, it was at this point that she started to admit that there was a God. And she actually said, it could be worse. As bad as it is and as tore up as we are, it could be worse. Well, a couple hours passed, and of course my son's surgery was supposed to take 4 hours, so we were there forever. And I refused to leave for the longest time because I was terrified that they were going to call for me. So we just happened to be sitting there when this man's daughter's surgeon came out and told them that the kidney didn't take. And I just remember sitting there thinking, I was really raging at God earlier, and just really angry with him. But God didn't send my son's surgeon out to tell me that my son was going to die. And that stuck with me, and the look on his face stayed with me. Because there is no look that any person ever has that matches the look that is on somebody's face when they find out that their child is dying. There's just not one. And that look haunts me, and when I catch myself dwelling on what's wrong with my life, or I hear people talking about how everything is so bad, God gave me that image so that it would come back to me and I would appreciate, yes, things are hard right now, but they're going to get better. And I've got clothing, and I've got food, and I've got shelter. So, I'm okay. But anyway, your message this morning brought that to mind, and I just wanted to share that with you and to say that I admire your strength, because I know how devastating that fire could be. And you're so positive about it. Anyway, you really spoke to me this morning. Thank you so much for sharing that. I know there are other people like me out there that needed to hear it. And I will talk to you later.